come on live. I've been meaning to do a video, but I've been really busy, so I found that just doing a live cuts it all out. I could say what I want to say, and you could drive along with me, okay? Let's go for a ride. We're going home. All right, they wanted me to do a double, but I you know how when, it's towards the end of the shift and you're sort of reconciled in your mind that you're about to go home and all of that, and then they ask you, do you want to stay for a double? And it's like you just mentally weren't prepared to do the double, and so you're just like, no, and then they're begging you, and you're like, you already had it set in your mind you wanted to go home, and then you feel bad. You kind of feel bad because, you feel like you're leaving them high and dry, but I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to just talk about Monique's son. He's made several videos. The first video, I think he should have just mic dropped with that, but fame is a powerful thing. It really is. Fame is a powerful thing. And so when he got that attention, I feel like he was like, oh, this is what it means to be famous. Oh, I'm getting this attention. And so because he has felt so unheard, he sort of kept putting out a video after video. Obviously, he wants a relationship with his mother. It's like somebody, bites their bottom lip and says, no, I don't love you anymore. I don't love you anymore. But they do love you. They just wish things were better. Of course he loves his mother, and he wants to have a relationship with his mother. I think that when the internet beehive started stinging Monique, and people were starting to question, and rumors were starting to spread that could she possibly be dropped from the cat tour, all kinds of things were starting to buzz. People were starting to give Monique the treatment she has been wanting Oprah to get, and what Oprah has gotten all these years. Monique went on that Club Shay Shay show, dragging the same old people that she has been dragging for years. I mean, years. Okay? And Oprah and Tyler and Lee and all of these people, you've been a Cat DL and, just unforgiving and unrelenting in dragging them. And I don't know if that's really Monique or is that Sydney, because when she went on that show dragging the same people she's been dragging, not showing any forgiveness, and her son ended up coming out with what he had to say, and then Monique and Sydney, and a lot of people are starting to see that Sydney's the problem. Sydney may have been good for Monique for a season, but I think that he's really I think that he is trying to take over her life. I was going to do a video where she's saying how clips from that video response to Shalon's first video, where Monique is saying that Sydney knew him before he knew himself. It sort of reminds me of that Bible quote, where God knows you while you were in the womb, or it's like she compares, she needs to step back from Sydney a little bit and define who she is outside of him. Another thing that I wanted to make a point about, someone who's a sexual assault survivor, SA survivor, I should say, because this is social media and they try to censor things, but an SA survivor, especially when it comes to somebody that did that to you that was from your family, I don't think that her calling a man daddy is appropriate. If I were a man and I knew that my wife or girlfriend was SA'd, especially by a family member, she would not be calling me daddy. Now I know that a lot of women and men and their tender words and my mind is going blank right now, but the babies and the honeys and all of that, that's one thing. But if you're a SA survivor, you shouldn't be calling your lover in any capacity, whether it's boyfriend, husband, you should not be calling him daddy, because that does something on a subconscious level. And she was taking it, she really feels like she can't do anything without this man. Like she needs his approval for everything. And a lot of you out here who are saying, oh, well, a man is supposed to speak up. That's why Sydney spoke up and so forth and so on in response to Shalon. No, that's between Shalon and his mother. You know, I mean, you got to look at the scenario. Sydney's uncle, he's daddy, he's this. I mean, you know, Monique needs to get therapy. I think that she's still affected by what happened to her. I'm not going to drag Monique. I sort of poked at her a little bit. But, you know, understanding her history. Hey, how are you?
How are you tonight?
Good.
All right, have a good rest of your night. Take
You
care.
too. Have a good one.
Right.
So,
In 1.5 miles.
let me slow down because some people think they own the road. Okay. So, I mean, you know, I'm starting to see a lot of people in the beginning of Monique's relationship said that Sydney's the problem, Sydney's the problem. Maybe they were seeing something that we didn't see. A lot of us are not used to manipulative leeches and abusers latching onto us for fame and fortune. I'm surprised that Sydney wasn't sitting on that couch on the Club Shay Shay show right along with Monique. Everything she does, he's there. And I think I would recommend that Monique take some time to define herself as who she is outside of being with Sydney. Okay, because as women, we need to know who we are independent of being so-and-so's wife, so-and-so's mother, nurse, engineer, you know, cashier, whatever your reputation. Who are you outside of any of these other titles that's connecting you? You know, so that's what she needs to do. That's all I'm going to say about Monique's son's last video when he saw that she was getting all that beehive sting from the internet. He came back and started trying to tap dance and clean things up. I sensed fear from him. He was fearful when he made that video. He was afraid because he could have, if he would have just mic dropped it with that one video, he could have possibly really tarnished and ruined Monique's career or her coming back. Monique is talented. I would never take anything away from her talent. But if her son had mic dropped it with that first video, then a lot of people were beehiving her and Sydney. Then, you know, she could possibly have been dropped from some of the projects that she was working on. I mean, you know, and her son loves his mother, and he would never want to be the cause of her getting such a backlash like that. But I would say to Monique, learn how to forgive and forget, because you're not perfect and neither is Sydney. So keep bringing up Oprah and stuff like that all of these years later. I think is very telling that there's something else going on there. Fani Wìllis, I watched her testimony, and I've been watching the trial here and there and stuff like that. the bottom line is I wasn't I know I get that she is upset that she is being questioned, her integrity is being questioned, her motives are being questioned, all of these things are being questioned. I get that, but to get on the stand and come across that way, I know some people are high-fiving her for how she came off with a sassy attitude and this and that, but I wasn't impressed by that, me personally. Because if you're going to be in the public eye and you're going to be in a position like that, yeah, they have the right to question you. And if they feel that you're doing something inappropriate, then they have the right to question that. And you should carry yourself with dignity like a lady and just get up there, answer the questions, be straightforward. This is what it is, whoop-de-whoop, and let it lean and rock. But it's going to look like she's going to be kicked off that case. She should have just resigned, but I know a lot of people saying, well, I wouldn't resign and all of this. Look, it is what it is. She was involved with this guy and did not disclose that. And I mean, it's really not looking good. So, I mean, you know, if your hand was caught in the cookie jar, you could try to fight it. But at the same time, you should have been smart enough to make sure that you weren't caught with your hand in the cookie jar. That's just the bottom line. If you're going to be caught with your hand in the cookie jar and it's obvious that your hand was in the cookie jar, you got crumbs all over your face and all of that, then it's no need of you embarrassing yourself even further by trying to pretend as though you did not have your hands in the cookie jar. That's my opinion. And I really don't like when anything that a black person does that's good, that's not a reflection on all of us black women. But when a black woman does something that people consider that angry, mad black woman stereotype or something ratchet, then all of a sudden that's supposed to represent all of us black women. So, I mean, this is an individual. She got caught up in an affair. She wanted to pay her mans. One of the things that I could say with the ladies out here, stop trying to prove to these men that you got it like that. If they're not with you because they want to be with you, then they can float. Let them kick rocks on their way to hell. I don't have to buy you. I don't have to pay you. I don't have to prove that I got it like that. I don't have to pull my power and all of that. You know, that guy Wade was no way near worth it. No way near worth it. So, I mean, you know, and I know that she's in Atlanta. You got a lot of charmers down there. Got a lot of people down there that know how to finesse these women out of their drawers, because from my understanding, it's a man shortage down there. And these women will take whatever they can get. Okay. What else did I want to talk about on this live? Infamous Sylvia with her being arrested. I really was surprised that she was arrested. Some of these bloggers will do anything, and I mean anything, for attention, because like she had said in one of her lives or one of her videos, that any publicity is good publicity, because people will be coming to my channel even if it is negative publicity, and they'll be watching my stuff and I'll get more money. I don't know how she got entangled with Ernesto like that and Sonia. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It really is ridiculous how, especially with these, I don't know if it, I would say especially with these older black women, but not just black women, but older women that get caught up in these situations where we're like, they should have known better. Yeah, they should have known better, but you have to understand, some of these women from certain generations, they, you would think that they would know better, but I think that women of infamous Sylvia's generation, a lot of them had experienced a lot of trauma in their childhood. And I'm not making excuses for women like her, women like Sonia and stuff like that, women like Monique. But a lot of times when people people have a lot of unresolved traumas from their childhood. You have to look back at the era that a lot of women grew up, and you can look at your own mothers and grandmothers and ask them about how times were when they were young. Men were king in the household back then. You know, they could do anything they wanted to everybody in the house. They could beat you, they could kick you, they could R-word everybody. And, you know, a lot of times domestic violence was not taken seriously during those generations. So a lot of times when we talk about people of a certain age, I'd say 50 and older, you know, especially when when you're touching 60 or over 60 and over, a lot of these people have a lot of traumas that have just not been resolved. So it's easy for a man and the love of a man and the attention from a man to cause them to do things that they normally wouldn't do. It causes them to question their intuition and instincts. Even though I really have been highly critical of Shirley Strawberry, at the same time, I feel for her because I know a lot of women like her. You know, you want the love and attention and the security of a relationship with a man. You want a husband. You want to settle down. You don't want to be looking anymore. You want to say, this is my man. This is my husband. You want to have someone that you can say that to. And when you grow up in an era where having that man, especially Black women, having that man in the home means so much, because a lot of them do walk off and leave. That's just the bottom line. A lot of them, not all of them, of course, but, you know, a lot of them do walk off and just leave. And so having them present is so important to a lot of these women that they will be willing to sell ass over ankles. They will be willing to rob, cheat, steal, lie. They will be willing to put themselves in all kinds of compromising positions. And so in closing in this live, I just want to say, if you're experiencing some sort of traumas, resolve those issues. And, you know, it's important for you to do that, because if you're broken, you're going to connect with someone who's broken. It's rare that you will meet someone who's not broken when you're in a broken state. Because if you're in a broken state and you meet a man that's not broken, he's going to have to be really, really patient and understanding, because you're going to put him through a living hell. You're going to put him through all kinds of stuff. You're not going to be able to appreciate a good man. And so I'm just going to circle back a little bit with what I was talking about in the beginning of the live with Monique. Sydney knows how to play Monique. Sydney has been studying this woman since she was a child. He knew her as children. And so he's been sitting there like a snake, like a viper, waiting for the right moment to sink his fangs in her. And he studied her, and he knew what he had to do to sink his fangs in her. I think it's obvious to everyone that she's just being manipulated. And I really hate to see women hitch themselves to men that's just going along for the ride. I've seen so many relationships like this growing up, and things like that, where these men, they want all the attention for themselves. So they love it when the woman alienates herself from her children. They don't want to share the woman's attention. They don't want to share any money. They don't want to share anything. So when Sydney's saying that we put down money on a car, was it our money or was it Monique's money? You know, So just be careful of people that you connect with, especially if you're a successful woman. There are a lot of bums and con artists that will wiggle up into your life to tell you just what you want to hear. And then the next thing you know, you're looking around at the devastation because they brought it all down. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below if you're so motivated to do so. This is Wonders of a Black Woman. Peace.